blue marble. "Everything's intact," he murmured. But any further investigation was cut short by the sound of stone scraping on stone coming from the top of the stairs that snaked up the wall opposite him. The stairs partially flanked the wall and then ducked into an ascending corridor with a brighter opening he took for a doorway just beyond it. Withdrawing from the fenced area, he watched a soft white line of light slide down the walls parallel with the stairs. Assuming it was some aid in maneuvering the old steps, he was more concerned with who might be descending them. He wasn't expecting visitors. He whispered another word, dimming the glowing ball's brilliance to the brightness of candlelight, and tiptoed closer to the stairs. Someone was indeed making his way down. Only one person. Good. He soundlessly bounded up the steps 2 at a time, keeping a few spells on the tip of his tongue. The point where the stairs made their right turn into the corridor beyond was where he met up with his unwelcome visitor. The pointed ears, claw-like hands, and skin the color of a ripe pear made clear he was facing a hobgoblin. He stood a foot above Valen's 6-foot frame, and was much more muscled than the mage. But Valen's magic was more than an equalizer, even considering the sword sheathed at the hobgoblin's side. But the hobgoblin's steel-gray, short-sleeved robe, accompanied by the brown padded cloth vest, wasn't quite right for a race said to be more at home in armor or common dress than robes. The steel cross he wore as a belt-buckle confirmed Valen's initial suspicions. The twin swords crossed over a round shield was a clear sign that this was a priest of Cuthone. A quick swipe of his hand sent the hobgoblin flying from the stairs and roughly hitting the floor below. While he spoke some goblin, he didn't need to be fluent to understand the guttural growls that followed were clearly curses of pain. As the hobgoblin swiftly found his feet, Valen cast another spell. Egris lorem nasli ra. A sudden burst of aquamarine energy shot out of his hands. An eye blink later, the hobgoblin was frozen solid, a thin layer of ice outlining his frame. The room was encompassed in a sinking mist, burst by the sudden change in temperature, the icy hobgoblin crackling in the seething fog. Looking back at the corridor from where the hobgoblin came, Valen found it empty. He waited a moment more, ears tuned for anything, while eyeing the daylight streaming in from the new opening with some trepidation. Once confident he was truly alone, he spoke another word of magic, plucked the now dimming globe from the air, and returned it to his satchel. He made his way toward the base of the ascending corridor. The hobgoblin wouldn't have been alone. Not a priest. So that meant there were others above. But how many? And were they all priests, warriors, or a mixture of both? Fishing out a silver medallion from beneath his robes, Valen studied the object carefully, noting the small ancient runes etched around its lip. More than once, the medallion had saved him from death. Many who'd tried introducing him to Asarlog failed, their weapons bouncing off his flesh as if it were hardened iron. The medallion would keep him safe from any physical attack, but if there were any more priests about, he could be in for a very real fight. Replacing the medallion under his robes, Valen ascended the stairs with more spells at the ready. He could feel the change in temperature as he climbed, growing quickly from a damp chill to a warmer and more humid environment. Of course, he knew from his studies the ruins sat in the midst of the jungle of Taco Lulama, but it was one thing to have head knowledge of a matter and quite another to experience the thick, semi-tropical air firsthand. All the better the transducer was in the cooler chamber below. At the top of the stairs, he discovered that the opening was a secret door hidden behind a statue, which he immediately crouched beside for added protection. The hidden door opened into a column-lined hallway with a row of statues extending 40 feet down along the wall opposite the columns. All of the statues, including the one he hid behind, were of powerfully muscled humanoids and devoid of heads, each wearing unique armor and carved into a variety of military stances. To his left, the hallway turned around a quiet corner with no hint of activity beyond. It was the same on his right. This just left the open door across from him, out of which came the sound of more hobgoblins. Creeping forward, he dared to look inside.